Hello everyone, welcome you all to Navodaya IAS. So I hope you all are studying well, and today we bring you some of the unknown facts related to poverty line and what is the present estimation of poverty in India. So there are certain unknown facts in this, what is the present estimation, and let's discuss it by one. So first of all, what is poverty line? Poverty line, badatana reke andre eno? Okay, what is poverty line? It is a method where you can measure the poverty based on either income or consumption level. See, there can be two ways to determine the poverty line. So one is based on the income and the another is based on the consumption. Okay, so now this poverty line is the line that demarcates the income, or we can say consumption, below which you can classify the people as below the poverty line. Consider this is a line. Okay, this you can consider it as a poverty line. So here the line signifies there should be a number in terms of rupees, okay, where you are showing either the income or the consumption. Okay, this line, for example, just consider 100 rupees. Okay, this is the poverty line, 100 rupees. The people whose income or consumption is below 100 can be classified as below poverty line. The people who are above this can be classified as above poverty line. So this poverty line is nothing but it is a line that demarcates either income or consumption, below which you can classify the people into the poor or below the poverty line. So what is the necessity of poverty line? See, the necessity is you can determine the rupee, or you can say what is the minimum income which is required for to fulfill the basic needs. Okay, so this is the necessity of using poverty line. And remember one important thing, that is this poverty line, or you can say the basic needs, it will differ across time and space. So let me give you one simple example for this, how the basic needs will differ across time and space. Just go back in times of 1947 when India got its independence. At that time, food was our basic need. Of course, even today it is a basic need, and we should be happy that India has fulfilled the basic need of food to a very large extent. Okay, so but just I'm comparing this. In 1947, food was the basic need, and today in 2025, even the internet is also a basic need. Okay, that is why this basic need will differ across time. So now just compare the space. Space is nothing but the places in one country. What is a basic need may differ from the other country. Just take the example of United States, where the person who is having a car, okay, person with a car, he can be considered, it can be considered to be a basic need. Okay, there is no big thing in that. But in India, having a car is a luxury. Okay, it is not a basic need, rather it is a luxury in India. That is why we can say that these basic needs will differ across the space. This you must remember. Okay, so I will show you an example of a question by the UPSC prelims, okay, where by knowing this concept you can tackle that question. I will show it later. Okay, so now, so how we are going to determine this poverty line? So how we determine the poverty line? So now let's see how we can determine it. See, firstly, so we have adopted the minimum requirement of food or clothing. What is the basic need? Food, clothing. Okay, we say roti, kapada, makan. Requirements of food, clothing, footwear, fuel and light. Okay, education, health. Okay, so all these are some of the basic needs which are very much essential for the subsistence. ನಮಗೆ ಬದುಕಲಿಕ್ಕೆ, ವಾಸಿಸಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನಮಗೆ ಬೇಕಾದಂಥ ಅತಿ ಅವಶ್ಯಕ ವಸ್ತುಗಳಿವೆಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಇವನ್ನ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಹೌ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಪವರ್ಟಿ ಲೈನ್ ಈಸ್, ವಿ ಟೇಕ್ ದೀಸ್ ಈಚ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಫಿಸಿಕಲ್ ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟಿ and multiply with the prices. For example, if you take cloth, if you are buying a shirt, okay, you are buying one shirt, okay, one shirt multiply with say 500 rupees. Okay, So the total price is 500. So likewise, whatever the basic needs is there, you take its price and just go on to add it. That is how you will get the minimum basic needs for a person. So now what India did was, let's now see how we came to the calculation of this poverty line. So we took these basic needs and we calculated the consumptions. Okay, we calculated the consumption, and the very first thing that we did was we calculated the food requirement. The food requirement which is needed for a person. So that is based on the calorie intake. The food we take in terms of calorie intake, this was classified as, for a rural person, okay, 2400 calories per day is required. For an urban person, okay, 2100 calorie per person per day is required. See, here the rural 2400, urban is 2100, because you know that the rural area, they are involved in the physical activities, that is why they need more calories. But whereas in urban, it is not the case. They can survive with lesser calorie intake. That is why we adopted this calorie intake model. And remember, this calorie intake and the price which is required for consumption of these calories will be revised periodically. Okay, this you must remember. Why we are revising it periodically? Because there is change in prices. Okay, that is what we call inflation. Okay, ಹಣದುಬ್ಬರ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ, change in prices. Okay, that is why it is revised periodically. So now we will see how or what is the present poverty estimation. Okay, present poverty estimation, how it is. Okay, now let's look at that. So firstly, keep this in mind, the poverty line is revised periodically by an organization known as NSSO, National Sample Survey Organization. So this is the organization which revises the poverty line. And also remember, now this body NSSO, this has been merged with the Central Statistical Office. Okay, this CSO is an office under Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. So these two, that is CSO and NSSO, these have been merged. Okay, and we have formed a new body, that is National Statistical Office. Okay, NSO. So NSO, this is the office that has been formed by merging NSSO along with CSO. Okay, so this happened in the year 2019. This merger happened in the 2019, and now we do not have NSSO and CSSO, or rather we have NSO. Okay, this you must remember. So, and secondly, our present estimation of poverty is based on the 2009 Tendulkar Committee. So here do not confuse Tendulkar with Sachin Tendulkar. Okay, he is not the one, rather it is Suresh Tendulkar. So Suresh Tendulkar, he was the chairman of this committee, and that is why it was called as the Tendulkar Committee. So this committee had the responsibility to come up with the formula for the poverty estimation in India. This was its purpose, and this committee came up with a method that was known as monthly per capita consumption expenditure. So just focus on these words, monthly per capita. So this is not capital, it is per capita consumption expenditure. See, monthly ಅಂದರೆ ಪ್ರತಿ ತಿಂಗಳು, per capita ಅಂದರೆ ಪ್ರತಿ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಕನ್ಸಂಪ್ಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರೇನು ಬಳಸ್ಕೊತಾರೆ ವಸ್ತುಗಳನ್ನು, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿದ್ದಂಥ ಖರ್ಚು ಏನಿದೆ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಂಡಿಚರ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಖರ್ಚು. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಮಂತ್ಲಿ ಪರ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಾ. ಓಕೆ, ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಪ್ರತಿ ತಿಂಗಳು ಎಷ್ಟು ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವೇನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ, ಮಂತ್ಲಿ ಪರ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಾ ಕನ್ಸಂಪ್ಷನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಂಡಿಚರ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಸೊ ಈ ತೆಂಡೂಲ್ಕರ್ ಕಮಿಟಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಪ್ರತಿ ತಿಂಗಳು ಎಷ್ಟು ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಸೊ ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ನಾವು ಪವರ್ಟಿ ಲೈನ್ ಎಸ್ಟಿಮೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಇದರ ಆಧಾರ ಮೇಲೆ ಇವ್ರು ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ದೇ ಕೇಮ್ ಅಪ್ with an estimation that monthly rupees 816 for a rural person, for a single person. Okay, rupees 816 should be the poverty line, and for urban area it is rupees 1000 per month. Okay, this is for rural and this is for the urban. So this is the per capita consumption expenditure for a month, if someone who is below these lines, okay, who is below these lines can be classified as below poverty line. So this was the method of Tendulkar committee in the year 2011. Okay, it was formed in 2009, but they gave the report in 2011. So this official poverty estimation was applicable from the financial year 2011 to 12. So then later in 2014, another committee was formed which was called as Rangarajan committee. So this Rangarajan committee, this suggested another method, and they raised this basic need of 8, 16 and 1000, they raised it to the higher number, but this was not implemented or accepted by the then government. Okay, and thus even today, officially, remember these words, officially we are following the Tendulkar committee method. Okay, this you must know. So now another fact to be remembered is our last official poverty estimation was done in the year 2011 and 12 by the NSSO, that is based on the monthly consumption expenditure survey. Okay, monthly consumption expenditure survey, and they estimated that the below poverty line population of India is at 21.9%. Okay, this was the estimation of the Tendulkar committee, and since then, since this last 2011-12 official poverty line estimation, there is no, okay, remember this, there is no official poverty estimation. There is no official poverty estimation. By whom? By this is NSSO. So there are other organizations such as the SBI report, okay, and also Niti Aayog has come up with multi-poverty index. Okay, there are other organizations, but this organization which was historically doing the poverty estimation has not taken up the official poverty estimation after 2011 and 12. This you must remember. There is a very high chance that the UPSC may ask a question on this. And remember another fact, that in the year 2017 and 18 there was an attempt by the NSSO to come up with the consumption expenditure survey, but this data is not released. This was not released because there were some concerns with the quality of data, and that is why these were not released in the public domain. So presently, see, even today our official poverty estimation is dependent upon the Tendulkar committee, okay, and the BPL is 21.9%. However, the recent data, they show different pictures because 2011 and 12 era has gone. So now the government relies upon the Niti Aayog's multi-poverty index. So what is this multi-poverty index? See, before this we have seen that the consumption expenditure was calculated based on the calorie intake for rural and urban, but now Niti Aayog have come up with multi-poverty index, that is not only just food, we need health, education, standard of living. Okay, so all these need to be considered to calculate the poverty line. And according to the Niti Aayog's estimate, in 2023, nearly 135 million people in India, they have exited from multi-dimensional poverty. That is in between 2015 to 16 and 2019 to 20. So between these years, nearly 135 million people, they are out of multi-dimensional poverty, because of various measures taken by the government for the employment, for the food security. So considering all these, the estimation of Niti Aayog says that nearly 135 million, they are out of the multidimensional poverty. Consider the question that I have told you. So this is a 2019 UPSC prelims question. In a given year in India, official poverty lines are higher in some states than in others because. See, that means what he is asking here is, there is differences in the official poverty estimations within India across states. See, in the beginning I told you that the poverty line or the poverty estimation differs across time and space. It is not uniform. So now they are asking within India, why is there a variation of poverty lines in the states, among the states. So look at the options. Poverty rates vary from state to state. Poverty rates, see, that means poverty rates means they are telling the percentage of population. Okay, see, is there any link between the poverty line and the rate of poverty? There is nothing like that, because poverty line is it is nothing but it's a number, okay, it's a number in rupees, okay, but this is not related to the percentage of population. Now come to the second one, price levels vary from state to state. See, now I have explained you how we are calculating the poverty line, that is mainly based on the consumption. That is, Tendulkar committee gave the formula of monthly consumption expenditure, okay, based on monthly consumption expenditure. Since there are differences in the price levels, you can take the variation the price levels, be it on food, okay, or other products. Since there is variation in the price levels, and since our method of calculation is based on consumption, when there is difference in the price level across the states, there will be difference in the poverty line in between the states. This you should know. Okay, so this is the right answer. See, now you should understand how the UPSC is playing the game. Okay, how they are playing the game is they take the questions from the basics concept. Okay, basic concept. You must take they take questions from these basic concepts only, but they want you to think. They want you to apply your knowledge. Okay, and then come up with the answer. So this is the trick that the UPSC is playing. So make sure you are very, very clear in your basics. Okay, I hope you all have understood the poverty line and the official estimation of the poverty line and other details. Okay, thank you one and all.